buy our seeds, Sylvie, and I'm gonna put 2 down there.
Welcome, everyone. Before we begin, if I could have everybody please either turn their cell phones off or put them on the vibrate mode. And if everyone would please rise while the family comes into our sanctuary. The family can sit down. You may be seated. Services for Julie Kingsley will be officiated by Rabbi Brent Gutman.
Kol omer kara v'amar ma'akra. Kol habasar chatzir v'chol chasdo ketzitz hasadeh. Yavesh chatzir navel tzitz ki ruach Adonai nafsha bo. Achen chatzir ha'am yavesh chatzir navel tzitz u'devar Eloheinu yakum le'olam. A voice says, cry out, and I say, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all its beauty is like the flower of the field. The grass withers, the flower fades when a wind of the eternal blows upon it. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God shall endure forever. As we enter into this festival of Hanukkah, it's clear that we've been diminished by one light in our world. We're assembled with our friends in the darkness that has fallen upon them. We raise our voices together to the source of life, asking for comfort and strength. We mourn the death of our friend, Julie Babat Kingsley, and we need light when gloom darkens our lives. We need fortitude and courage when pain and loss assails us. May we find these in God, who preserves from destruction all that is good. Let us find them too in loved ones and companions who do God's work by binding up the wounds of the stricken. Who among us has not passed through trials and bereavements? Some bear fresh wounds in their hearts and therefore feel more keenly the kinship of sorrow. Others, whose days of mourning are more remote, still recall the comfort that sympathy brought to their sorrowing hearts. May our sharing of sorrow and our deeds of solace bring comfort to all of Julie's loved ones. In this time of grief, we listen to the voices of our sacred scriptures that bring us the ever-new message of God's nearness. It tells us of our kinship with the Creator, in light as in darkness, in joy as in sorrow, in life as in death. Now, so much about this festival and this period is about searching for means, ways to elevate ourselves. And among the Psalms commonly recited in these moments is one which was recited long ago as Jews made pilgrimage to Jerusalem. It's a song of ascent, a song that speaks of God's support for us even in times of challenge. We know that Julie had the opportunity to visit Israel during her life, and that many of her friends who were with her on that trip are here donning blue scarves to show their connection their support and their love for her. And so as we offer this, our first of our psalms, bidding farewell and bringing honor to Julie's memory, may these words elevate us as well. Shir lemalot aseh shamayim va'aretz me'ayin yavo Ezri me'im Adonai aseh shamayim va'aretz al yiten lamot raglecha al yinum shomrecha hine lo yanum velo yishan shomer Yisrael Adonai shomrecha Adonai tzilcha al yad yeminecha Yomam hashemesh lo yakecha v'yareach balayla Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra yishmor et nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam. I lift my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul, your going and coming, now and forever. Kohelet wrote, "The eye never has its fill of seeing, young or old. Those who depart this life never see enough of the world, never complete their task, never cherish their loved ones enough before they are called home. How they yearn for yet another respite from the final summons, and how we yearned to have them close to us for yet another challenge in our lives, yet another joy, yet another precious moment together. God, be now with those whose hearts are broken, because whenever parting comes, it comes too soon. Console them at this hour. Be near to them when light seems distant. Sustain them, O God, until the time of healing. Encourage us to open up our programs, those of you who took one on your way in, and on the right inside flap, you'll find the words to the familiar 23rd Psalm. I'd like to ask us to recite it first in English together before I continue with the Hebrew. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. God maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Mizmor leDavid Adonai roi lo echsar. Binot deshayar bitini al mei menuchot yenachaleni. Nafshi yeshovev yancheni. B'maglei tzedek lema'an shemo. Gam ki elech beged sal mavet lo irara ki ata imadi. Shivtecha mishantecha hema yenachamuni. Ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged sorarai. Deshanta v'shemen roshi kosi revaya. Achto v'chesed yerdefuni kol yamei chayai. V'shavti b'veit Adonai le'orech yamim. We appreciate this moment together, and what evidence of the love that Julie showed for all. What more evidence could be needed than this great crowd that is assembled here? We certainly extend our condolences to you, Jenny, Allison, and Brooke. And it's our privilege in this moment to welcome you to the Bima to share your reflections with us.
Hello. We want to thank all of you for coming in memory of our mother. She would have loved to see every single person's face here, but not like this. Even though she's not physically here with us, she's up there with her dad, our papa, her grandparents, pets, her friends like Michelle, family, and loved ones, and probably God himself. They're probably dancing and having a party, watching us all gather to remember her. Love has always been a really important thing for my mom. My mom taught me that it's okay to love who you love. She taught me that love is not linear and you don't have to hold back in yours. It's because of her that we have lifelong friends who our mom considered her own children. She always had an open door policy and everyone was always welcome. My mom shared her love of swimming, music, and reading with me from a young age and passed these on to us. She said she was so proud that we were able to swim before we could even walk, even going so far as to make sure I went off a diving board before I was a year old. A few months ago, I came home for Suey Sue's funeral. When it was time to go back to Queens, my mom really didn't want me to leave. And instead of dropping me off at the airport on time, we decided to take an extra 30 minutes driving around in circles, listening to the old Camp Seneca Lake music, and just talking and being close. I knew then that no matter what happens, my Ima had my back. Before I got on that plane, she told me again just how much she loved me. I'm going to miss her so much, and knowing she's not here to call, to just talk about my day, a book, work, or even nothing at all is hard. But I will always know that my mom loved me.
I'm so thankful to our mom for teaching us so many valuable life lessons. I could go on to list the things she taught me, like body acceptance, gratitude, empathy, courage, and how to love who you are because you only get one life. She taught me how to fight for myself, and through that, I learned how to fight for her and the people around me and make sure they know how beautiful and loved they are and that they are seen. Our mom loved her friends and family and her community beyond measure. We got to get to know people on very personal levels from a young age. Those relationships were held so close to her heart. She had an open door policy for anyone and everyone who wanted to come. Our downstairs bedroom became a sanctuary for many people we now have unbelievable bonds with. She was never really alone. She had people that loved her all over the place. Everywhere we went, someone would always ask, "Are you Julie's daughter?" and share stories of her. Her memory will live with us forever. Even though the time I had was cut short, I will always have her with me, reminding me to love everyone and know they are going through things we can't see. And the greatest gift I will always have are my sisters.
My mom is my person.
This is Bricky's. My mom was my person, she was my best friend, and I have so much love for her because I was her monkey on her back. She constantly told me how beautiful I was and always commented on how I always had a twinkle in my eye and told me over and over that she loved me. Even if I didn't pick up my mom's calls, she always ended her voicemails with, "I love you." That was her top priority, letting us know we were loved, cherished, and that we were special. We talked a lot about how much she loved us and everyone with her whole heart. All the way to the end, her final goodbye was, "I love you."
We welcome Julie's twin younger sisters, Kim and Kelly, to share reflections with us now at this time.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Kim. And I really apologize. I prepared this in my sister's typical fashion, which was last minute. It is said in the Talmud that we as parents are obligated to teach our children to swim. This comes from the Exodus from Egypt, when the Israelites found themselves at the shore of the Red Sea, being chased by the Egyptians. Moses raised his hands and asked God for assistance. An Israelite named Nachshon did not wait. He proceeded to walk into the sea. While he knew God would be with him, he did not wait on the miracle. He took action to help himself. My sister Julie was the aquatics director at the JCC in Gettsville for many, many years. Aside from training and certifying the lifeguards and coordinating and managing the staffing and schedules for both the indoor and outdoor facilities, she was responsible for teaching hundreds of children to swim, including my own. Amongst the outpouring of texts and memories being shared with us from our local religious community, it was expressed that Julie educated the community on the fact that drowning was the leading cause of death for children under 5, and that it was imperative to teach the children to swim. It was Julie who made that possible. She not only taught and coordinated lessons at the JCC, but when she stopped working there, she continued in her pool at home, enlisting her daughters to help. Now, I took a look at that liturgy a little bit differently. Yes, while certainly it's about teaching one's children to swim, I think there was a greater intended meaning. Learning how to stay afloat in seemingly impossible, dangerous, and/or difficult conditions is what life is really about. And to that end, my sister was in fact a phenomenal teacher. A staunch advocate for voter registration, mental health-related issues, women's reproductive rights, and domestic violence-related issues, Julie used her social media platforms to make waves. She raised money, volunteered to drive voters to the polls, and protested, coordinated family and friends to do the same. She used her platform to draw attention to causes dear to her, and she did not simply say the words, she lived them. Julie was the consummate advocate for the underdog. Always concerned with the needs of others, she stepped up in tangible, practical, and real ways. She has a bedroom in her finished basement at home, which from time to time became a boarding house for friends down on their luck. My personal favorite was her former employee who came and stayed for months with his 3-legged dog. Now, I thought she was nuts to open her home to acquaintances in this way, but she said he needed a place to breathe, a comfortable, safe place to sleep, and just a little love and TLC. Well, who among us doesn't? It is said that if you drop a pebble in the water, it makes a splash and then it's gone. But that pebble, that creates hundreds of ripples, and they go on and on and on. And that is the essence of, that in essence was Julie. The splash she made, the love she gave, the causes she cared about, the legacy of family and friends left behind are the ripples that will continue in perpetuity. And if she were here, she would simply ask that to honor her memory, you do something kind for someone else. Check in on a friend who's struggling, help a stranger. She would say that a simple act of kindness could change a person's life. Do them as often as possible. I love you, and I will carry you with me always.
Jenny, Allison, and Brooke, you are your mother's greatest accomplishment. Her legacy, and you carry the best parts of Julie in your very souls. Jenny, you are a storyteller as your mother and your papa before you. Like Mom, you consume stories and share those from your own life freely. Your stories are long, rich in detail, and ripe with tangents and backroads and the cul-de-sacs from your own experiences. And like Mom, your stories are braggadocious. You regale us with tales of your students and your friends and sisters and their many adventures. Your stories are rich with hyperbole of their accomplishments. Recently, I called you on my way home from work. The conversation went like this: "Hey, Jen." And that was the end of our chat. You told me about your kids, about each of them, your students, their names, all of them, as though I were going to be sitting in your classroom the next day. You boasted about their accomplishments. You shared their stories about how they reach out to you beyond academics for social and emotional support. And like your mother, you talked and you talked and you talked and talked. And as I sat in standstill traffic, I listened to you for 25 minutes and smiled. I smiled at the way listening to you felt like a conversation I would have with Mom, which often began with, "Hey, Jules," and then a lengthy period of listening to her stories overflowing with pride about you three girls. Like your mother, Jenny, you carry forward her love for children and her tremendous sense of pride in all she cherished, which was pretty much everyone. This part of Julie's legacy burns brightly in you, Jenny, a legacy passed down from your papa through your mother to you. Every family needs a storyteller and a braggart. You will carry this torch forward for your family and one day pass it on to the next generation. Our sister Julie had a fiery, protective spirit. She could open a can of Mama Bear like no other. Julie's love and loyal friendship was always at the ready. There was nothing Julie wouldn't do to help a friend or family member, or stranger or three-legged dog in need, even when it compromised her own have-tos. And Julie implanted her fiery, protective spirit in you, Allison. You are a bold, brave, badass woman. You wear your heart on your sleeve, fiercely protect your loved ones, and unabashedly call it like you see it, just as your mother did. Your desire to be there for others in need is your gift from her. It's part of the legacy she inherited from Papa, and she leaves with us in your protective care. You will learn to wield this spirit in balance with your own needs, and know that your family and all your mother's many sisters are at your back. And music unlocked Julie's free spirit. She literally flourished wings when she danced. Her eyes sparkled and she laughed freely, and she took flight in the rhythms and riffs of her inner song. Julie's smile was the brightest thing in the room, and her laugh was identifiable a mile away. Julie's joy lives in you, Brooke. In the way you laugh when the tickle strikes, appropriate or not. The way your eyes shine when you're surrounded by family and friends. And the way you gather friendships and keep them close. Brooke, you are a warm blanket and a comforting hug. Your glass is always overflowing. And your gift, passed down from Papa to your mother, is the glue that holds the pieces together. It seems like a simple thing, glue. A simple thing, a smile, a kind word, a supportive touch. But it's that necessary ingredient a family needs to see hope and shine light in dark times. My sister Julie was Babat through and through. She laughed loudly, she shared her opinions boldly, and she loved big. She was protective and loyal, and Julie loved her friends as her family. Julie's life has shaped each of us, and she has taught us to brag about the good things and stand up for others. She's taught us to love fiercely and dance unabashedly. And Jen, Allie, and Brooke, you are her greatest gifts. And through you, Julie's legacy will grow and shine brightly for us all. Good job, Julie.
The founder of the 18th century mystical Jewish Hasidic movement, the Baal Shem Tov, whose name literally means the owner of a good name, also known as the Besht, lived a deeply challenging early life. Orphaned at the age of 5, the responsibility for raising him fell upon the community. As he came of age, he developed a novel theology which would transform the Jewish world. His approach was deeply rooted in the Kabbalistic notion that sacred sparks of a broken vessel are scattered throughout the world. And it was the role of the saints, the tzaddikim, to seek these out, these klipot, these broken shards of holiness as they were called, and to repair the broken vessel, to accelerate the arrival of the healing moment for our world, the Messianic era. Moreover, the Baal Shem Tov enlisted and inspired others in his mission. He spoke of 36 hidden saints to be found in each generation, and that their quiet deeds of chesed, of compassion, brought a possibility of healing that could be described as cosmic. One can never know for sure who are among the 36 because of their hiddenness, but from what I've learned about Julie, I have my suspicions. As we've heard, she was a ball of spirit, a bundle of energy, and brimming with charisma. From a very young age, she formed a tight circle of friends, among them names such as Jen Nissengard and Jessica Milch and the late Michelle Eisenberg and others. And this detail too parallels the life of the Besht. Legend describes him as riding a very fast horse. At the outset of a journey, he would gather his friends before abruptly galloping off in a seemingly random direction. His friends would regularly lose him in the deep forest, yet when they arrived at their destination, the Besht would magically appear exactly where he was meant to be. While Julie found great solace in nature, by all accounts she blossomed when at Camp Gorham in the Adirondacks over the summer. She would probably choose to swim rather than riding a horse if she needed to cross a wilderness. Each summer she signed up to traverse the lake at camp, and her love of the water was apparent from a young age. One famous family story relates that Julie's cousin Lenny Rybeck taught her to swim when she was 2 years old, and she took to it like a fish. Intending to surprise her father, Michael, may his memory also be for a blessing, they placed Julie in the pool in feigned distress, and when he arrived home, this induced Michael to dive into the pool with clothes, watch, wallet, and all. While Michael was not amused at the time, he later would laugh as he retold this story. Her favorite color was purple. Well, purple and sparkles, I'm told. As a 4-year-old, she was offered the opportunity to choose the color of her room. And a hue somewhere between hot pink and bubble gum struck her fancy. The moment she was shown the paint swatch, she dove onto the color, claiming it for herself. Her choice was unequivocal, and sure enough, her room was made to be hot pink with purple curtains, until the pink later in her teen years gave way to teal. She loved to decorate her nails with sparkles. This was her flair, and we might note that she will be rocking a special Buffalo Bills design into the next world. As Julie grew, she demonstrated unique generosity. She would altruistically share whatever she had with whomever was in need. the shirt off her back, the room in her basement, it didn't matter. Even though it wasn't her holiday, if she had a Christian guest, she would arrange a Christmas celebration for them. Once, as mentioned, she took care of a friend's 3-legged dog for a full month until its owner could come to retrieve it. Her tent was always wide open, and as we heard, her passion for swimming led her to become the aquatics director at the JCC, where she in particular advocated for every child to have the opportunity to learn to swim, literally participating in the mitzvah of pikuach nefesh, in saving life. Regarding Julie herself, it's been said that her greatest fear was FOMO, fear of missing out. At times, she would beg rides from family and friends to parties. She leapt at the opportunity as a young person to travel to Spain, only to lament that she missed out in not getting the chance to travel to Israel. Well, as I shared earlier, that opportunity was presented some years later on the Jewish Federation's Momentum trip. Upon return, she enthusiastically shared how much the experience meant to her and her love of all of those that she traveled with. No doubt, those of you from that group who are here today are included among her dear friends. Throughout her life, she was never bashful in being who she was, even when her tastes were somewhat unusual. Her favorite food was dip. Dip and anything that could be used as a vessel to appreciate it. She loved fish sticks for the tartar sauce and broccoli for the Velveeta. She'd use savory salad dressings to dip chicken, and just a month ago at Thanksgiving, she declared that she didn't like turkey. When challenged on that account by her family, she clarified that she saw turkey simply as a means of enjoying gravy. She was who she was without apology. She loved music as well. In particular, the artists Prince, Pink Floyd, and the Grateful Dead. She loved to share her love of these groups and bringing family and friends with her to concerts to share in the experience. Jennifer, you shared how she shared her passion for reading with you. That although she might have introduced you a little bit too early to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, you discovered your love of reading from her. Brooke, you shared how you were besties with your mom. And Allison, you spoke of her as a source of comfort for you, that she was always good for a cuddle and a tickle probably too. Your mother was a powerful model of inclusivity to you. When friends of yours needed help, Julie embraced them. Jennifer, you shared that one of your friends once came out as trans and was rebuffed by their own parents. She told us of how your mother took this person in and became like a mother to them. Julie was unbounded in her capacity for compassion, and I pray you carry on her legacy with you so that her memory grows as a source of blessing and comfort. Kim and Kelly, you shared this was true for you as well as Julie's younger sisters, that when you found yourselves at odds, Julie would intervene and mediate your conflicts as well. And Brett, you shared your love for her too, how important your sister was to you. Judy, our heart breaks for you for the loss of your child. But may you be comforted in all the ways that she brought honor through the good that she did here on earth. Julie's heart was huge, her compassion unbounded. And with that as her legacy, her love will surely live on indefinitely. Just as she ended every phone call with, "I love you," Her legacy will be secure in all the love she shared with her enormous circle of friends and family, and especially her daughters. She will be missed for her glitz, her spirit, her generosity, her smile, and most of all, her compassion. Whether or not one of the hidden ones, her saintly acts have left a deep imprint on our world. The light of her life burned bright, and like a glittering firework was consumed much too quickly. At times, her compassion baffled even those who knew her best. But in the end, just like the Baal Shem Tov, who lost others along the way, she arrived at the right place when it mattered. And as we mourn a bright light that has been taken from our world, we pray that her spirit be bound up with God in the bond of everlasting life. She will live on in our hearts too, as we rise to recite the memorial prayer. El Maleh Rachamim. Maleh Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Amitze Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim Utohorim, Kizora Rakia Masirim, and Nishmat Yasanesa Bat Yudit V'Moshe Mordechai, Shemakir Aleinu B'Shem Naomi Shalcha Le'olama. Bal Rachamim Yastireha B'Tzedek Kanafav Le'olamim, Vayitzror B'Yitzror HaChaim En Nishmata Adonai Hu Nechalata V'Tanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkava Venomar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Julie, Babat, Kingsley, known among our people as Yehuda Nessa Bat Yehudit B'Moshe Mordechai, or as she preferred to be known by her middle name, Naomi, who has entered eternity. We pray, O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen.
For those of you who are going in procession with us to Forest Lawn Cemetery, we just ask that you put your bright lights and your four-way flashers on. The family is having Shiva this evening at 7 Caitland Court. It's listed in the programs. 7 to 9 p.m. There will be a prayer service starting at 7 p.m. this evening. If everyone would please remain standing while the casket is taken from our sanctuary, and if I may ask for the pallbearers to please step forward at this time.